Hiya, we're back. Okay, so this time we're going to talk about weight loss. So a lot of people when they, or fat loss, because I prefer to say fat loss than weight loss, because weight loss can include muscle loss as well, but we're talking about fat. Okay, so a lot of people when they start a diet or an exercise routine will expect their weight to come down like this in a linear fashion, okay? So they'll start at like, I don't know, 65 kilos and they'll expect their weight to do this. However, your weight fluctuates on a day-to-day basis, okay? There are a number of things that will make it so that your weight doesn't actually go down in a straight line, okay? So the biggest and simplest thing that makes this happen, it's called life. So what I don't want you to think about, or what I don't want you to get obsessed with, is the fact that maybe your weight isn't going down in a linear fashion. What it might do is go down a couple of kilos, up a kilo or a pound, down a couple of kilos, up a kilo, like this. So you may just be going up and down like this. So hormones will play a massive part in that, okay? Digestion will play a massive part. Water retention will take a massive part as well, and periods will as well. As I say, one day you might be 150 pounds, the next day you might be 148, and the day after you might be 149. The fact of the matter, and the only thing you should be focusing on, is the actual trend. Is the trend over the month-long period, or the 8-week period, or the 6-month period, the fact that you are going down? If the trend is going down, then absolutely you are on track. If you go up a little bit just because of your period, or you've eaten something, or you've not been for a poop, you're fine, okay? So overall, if the trend is still going down, that is a thing you want to be aware of, okay? And so you know what, like, your weight consists of so much more than your fat, okay? It consists of how much food you've got in your stomach. It consists of how much water you've drunk, how much your bones weigh, how much your muscle weighs, how much water your body's retaining, okay? So water is plays a massive, significant part in how much your body weight fluctuates, okay? So the more water you drink, the less you'll retain, and the more carbs you eat, the more you'll retain sodium. If you've got more sodium or salt in your body, the more water you retain as well. So giving up a bit of that will actually help you lose the weight. Also, kind of emotional stresses, physical stresses, mental stresses will all impact your actual weight as well at the time. I'm not sure if you can see that, but I just got an email through. Sorry about that. So remember, you've got to look at your progress over time and keep in mind that your muscles and your bones will weigh more as you're training as well. So you may not see a massive downward slide or downward scale, if that's what you want to call it, because actually you'll be putting on a little bit of weight, not fat, weight, because your bone density will increase, which is a plus, and that is what we want. We want our bone density to increase because that's what's going to keep us strong for longer. Also, your muscle mass will increase, and we all know muscle weighs more than fat. On that subject of muscle weighing more than fat, I just want to take you through something. So imagine this bottle contains fat, okay? So this bottle containing fat will be a pound. So this is a pound of fat right here, okay? So a pound of fat is going to take up this much room, right? But a pound of muscle will take up this much room in your body. So look at the difference in the amount of room it's going to take up in your body. That's quite a big cup. Let's put that cup down. So a pound of fat and a pound of muscle, okay? It's going to take up less room in your body. So with a pound of muscle, you're going to look smaller because it takes up less room, where fat is like, there are cells which balloon out, whereas muscle, which are cells which will keep in tight, okay? So remember, if you do start like maybe not losing as weight as quickly, or maybe you put on a couple of kilos or a couple of pounds, but you're shrinking, and your measurements are smaller, and your photos look different, and your photos look like you're leaning out, there's no problem, because all you're doing is you're building that ever so much wanted muscle, okay? So remember, fat loss will not be linear. Things like sleep, food, poops, water retention, carbs will all affect that. Your menstrual cycle will affect that as well. So I hope you can see that and understand that when you see the scales rise, it doesn't automatically mean that you've gained fat. And understanding this is especially important if you're weighing in on a day-to-day basis, because daily fluctuations happen. I wouldn't advise you do day-to-day, and we'll talk about weighing ourselves at some point, but at the moment I want you to do every week, okay, once a week. And remember that you're not alone. You are human and you will expect these variations and fluctuations, and seeing these differences every week, so you will be more than likely to have a more successful journey on your fat loss journey. Okay, that is it. So remember, weight and fat loss will not happen in a linear fashion. You will see fluctuations day to day, week to week, and month to month. As long as you're going in a downward trend, you're all good.